Hi everybody, I'm Don Andrews. I'm up here with Cheap Joe's this week. Joe asked me to call me up, asked me to come teach a workshop. I asked him, what kind of money are we talking about? He said $1,000, so I mailed him a check and here I am. I want to talk to you a little bit about mixing colors. This first demo is going to be on the color green. If you're a landscape painter, a still life painter, you need to know how to handle green. Most of the nature scenes out there are primarily green, I guess. And I want you to consider that most of nature's greens are warm dominant. Certainly here in the South, by far, the greens in nature are warm dominant. Well, pretty much anywhere in the country, perhaps out in Oregon or Washington, maybe up in Maine, the blue spruce trees actually are cooler. But down here in the South and most anywhere, the dominant temperature in green is warm. You can buy tubes of green, but some of the most beautiful greens are not greens that work in nature. And I want you to consider that. Emerald green is a beautiful green. Joe's green is a beautiful green. In the American Journey paint selections, there are a few more. If we had a model who was posing for us, those would be wonderful greens to put in her sarong, and there are certainly other uses as well. But when we use them in nature, for trees and bushes and grass, it makes the landscape look artificial. I use two colors primarily to make nature's greens, and that's Prussian blue and gamboge. American Journey paints I've used for many years. They're reliable, sturdy, and those two colors will give you a wonderful, wonderful variety of green. So let's get started. When I say that I mix Prussian blue and gamboge together, anytime I hear someone say they mix two colors together, the first thing I think of is a 50-50 mixture. But this beginning of warm green, the lighter greens, is anything but that. It's like 98-2, so it's 98% gamboge, a lot of gamboge. I'll be making all of these greens out of the same puddle, but look how much gamboge I'm using. And then I'm just gonna touch, and usually I add too much, I'm just gonna touch into a little bit of Prussian blue, set it over here on the side, and bring it into. So that's just a little touch of Prussian, yes, a little touch of Prussian, and a lot of gamboge. Gives us a very nice summer green. All I'm doing each time is increasing that might have been 2%, I'm just kind of making those things up. But this would be maybe 5 or 7%. And as we add a little bit more, maybe 10 now, it begins to drop down the value scale a little bit more and a little bit more. These are the greens that we see in our backyard in the summertime. And they're very reliable. They don't go muddy on us, and very pleasing in watercolor painting. Now I'm probably getting somewhere close to 50-50, the mixture. Drops it down just a little bit more. And now we're probably adding more Prussian than we are gamboge. And it gradually, just those two colors, go all the way from light to middle to dark. And wonderful, wonderful, a variety of green. Down to a darker green. My grandfather was a farmer, and he used to brag on his collard greens when they really started looking good. He said they were black. And so I'm mixing this almost all Prussian blue now. It almost looks black to me, but notice how dark the greens of nature are in the shadows. And so those all are very, very useful colors of green, made from just those two colors. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of red to this mixture of green, and that's going to neutralize it. It will make the green a bit more somber. And that's okay. We do see these greens in nature. Just a little bit of Red Hot Mama, again, an American Journey color, but not much. You have to be careful because these greens are kind of what I want to call camouflage. We certainly see them in nature, but if I find that if I use too many of these neutralized greens, I'm mixing reds and earth tones to neutralize them, that if we use too much of them, then our painting becomes somber, low-key. And so I kind of want to say that I do use these colors. We'll put a little burnt sienna in with our darker green. And these are certainly greens that are believable and are abundant in nature. But I find that when I use or overuse them in my landscape painting, that the painting becomes low-key. So this is home base. This is where the dominant and the most of the greens are built, with just sparingly using a few natural greens. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a gorgeous green. I love this color very much, but it doesn't work well in foliage, and that's what I was alluding to a little bit earlier. This is a beautiful green if we had a model who had on a sarong. This is a gorgeous green for painting water, especially tropical water or moving water. It's a wonderful color, but I don't recommend you use it in foliage because it makes the foliage look artificial. This is a mixture of Joe's Blue, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous blue, and Hooker's Green Dark. Just a little bit of Hooker's Green Dark at first makes a wonderful, wonderful blue-green. But as you can see, if you put that into your landscapes, that it'd be hard to find a bush or a tree around Boone, North Carolina that was that color. That now I'm just going to add a little bit more of the Hookers into Joe's Blue, and well, that didn't do much, and it'll drop it down a little more. As you see, and I do a lot of tropical paintings, these are wonderful colors to use in water, tropical water, running water. They work well, but not so much in foliage. The whole secret to green is really variety. I try to have light, middle, and dark playing against each other as I paint. I start off with the lighter ones and gradually work through the value scale to the darker ones. With just a few colors, you've got every green in nature, and you'll have good variety and freshness in the greens in your work. I hope that helps.